What if I told you there was a powerful kingdom so feared that Europe treated it with caution, respect, and eventually violence? This was no myth, no legend. This was real. Deep in West Africa, long before colonial borders, there stood a kingdom of wealth, order, and military power so advanced that early Europeans couldn't believe what they were seeing. They wrote about its wide streets, its towering walls, its disciplined army, its art so detailed it rivaled anything in Europe. This was the Kingdom of Benin, now part of modern-day Nigeria. And what happened to it will shock you. The Kingdom of Benin didn't rise by chance. It was built with structure, discipline, and vision. By the 13th century, under rulers known as Obas, Benin transformed into one of the most organized kingdoms in Africa. At the center of it all stood the Oba, the king, not just a ruler, but a sacred figure. His authority shaped law, religion, and daily life. One of the most powerful early rulers was Oba Uwere. He expanded the kingdom, restructured its leadership, and turned Benin City into a masterpiece of urban planning. This wasn't a random settlement. Streets were laid out in straight lines. Markets were regulated. Security was tight. European visitors later described the city as cleaner and more organized than many cities back home. Benin didn't just survive. It thrived. Its wealth came from trade. Ivory, pepper, textiles, and later controlled trade with Europeans. When the Portuguese arrived in the 15th century, they didn't conquer Benin. They negotiated, because Benin was not weak. It had a strong military, strict trade control, and leadership that understood power. The Oba dictated terms, not Europe. And then came the art, the famous Benin bronzes. Detailed metal plaques and sculptures that recorded history, battles, and royal life. Even today, experts are still amazed by their precision. At first, Europe respected Benin, but respect slowly turned into something else: control. Benin didn't allow unrestricted trade. It resisted foreign interference. It maintained independence. That made it a problem, because by the 19th century, European powers wanted full control over African resources. And Benin stood in the way. Tensions rose. British officials pushed for influence. The Oba refused, and that refusal would lead to one of the most brutal attacks in African history. In 1897, everything changed. A British delegation attempted to enter Benin against orders. Violence broke out. That incident became the excuse. What followed was the Benin Expedition of 1897, a full-scale invasion. British forces attacked Benin City. They burned it. They looted thousands of artworks. They destroyed a kingdom that had stood for centuries. The Oba, Oven Ramonabesai, was captured and exiled. And just like that, one of Africa's most powerful kingdoms fell. But before we go further, if you're learning something new, hit subscribe, share this video, and turn on notifications. Because stories like this deserve to be told. The destruction didn't end with fire. Thousands of Benin bronzes were taken to Europe. Today, they sit in museums like the British Museum. For years, people asked, why were these statues damaged? Why were the noses broken? These weren't accidents. They were acts of control. A way to strip identity. A way to silence history. But the truth is coming back. And the world is finally paying attention. The Kingdom of Benin was not just powerful. It was organized, advanced, independent. And that independence made it a target. But its story didn't end in 1897. It lives on in its people, its culture, its art, and in the truth that refuses to stay buried. If this opened your eyes, subscribe, share this video, and turn on notifications for more real African history. And watch this next. Why they broke the noses off African statues. Because what happened to Benin is only part of the story.